All right, so we've been practicing all kinds of examples and getting to see when to use that sequential counting principle. What I'm going to end this section with is a tool that's going to help us out actually a lot in the next section, but we want to practice it now and get used to it now. So we're going to learn this new operation you can do with a number. It's called n factorial. So n factorial, and the way it's written is n with an exclamation point. So it's not just that n is really excited, it's this is a new operation we're going to do. The way it's defined is if you use a positive whole number n and you write n factorial, what you do is you're going to multiply n times 1 less than n, so n minus 1 times n minus 2, and you just keep multiplying until you get all the way down to 1. So eventually you'll have times 3 times 2 times 1. So you just keep going until you get all the way down to the bottom. So for example, something like 7 factorial, well, this would be 7 times 6 times 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. So that's all a factorial means. And then most likely we would just calculate that in a calculator. We're probably not going to do it in our heads. If you do put all of that in a calculator, you get the number 5,040. Now, we can kind of get a little picture of why these are useful, right? We've been doing similar things to this already, right? Multiplying a number times 1 less times 1 less. So if you go all the way down to 1, it's a factorial. Now, the only one that we haven't defined yet that we do need sometimes is sometimes we need 0 factorial. So that doesn't fit this definition because 0 isn't positive. Positive numbers start with 1. But there is a definition for 0 factorial, and it's just a fact. We're just going to use it, and we just define it this way to have it work, to have it make sense. But 0 factorial is defined as 1, which seems a little funny sometimes unless you think about one way to define a factorial. One way to think about it is it's the number of ways of arranging that many objects. So like the number of ways of arranging 7 objects is 5,040. So if you think about it, the number of ways to arrange 0 objects, well, there's one way you do nothing. So that's kind of an anecdotal way of remembering 0 factorial. But that's just a fact that we'll need to remember. So you've got 2 more questions on your worksheet where you're going to practice just another simple factorial. You can give that one a try on your own. And then the next one really sets up kind of how we're going to use factorials in the next section, where it has multiple factorials in a problem. And we're going to practice seeing what's an efficient way to kind of break that down and then simplify it before we start typing it in the calculator. So we have to type in a little bit less. So that'll be the end of this section 10.1. So you just have those 2 last things to finish up on there.